Hello everyone, welcome to join the meeting and enjoying the documentary produced by our group. The theme of our documentary is the art of avoiding people, a study of social avoidance on campus. Now let our group members to introduce themselves. Hello everyone, my name is Lin Zihan. My metro number is A207434.
Hello everyone, my name is Yang Yuzhou. My metric number is A207139.
Hello everyone, my name is Wang Yus and my matrix number is A205905.
Hello everyone, my name is Pan Xingtong. My matrix number is A207159.
Hello everyone, my name is Wang Dundun and my metric number is A07326.
Okay, now let's watch the documentary.
In a situation like this, you are walking across campus and you spot someone you know in distance. Your eyes may for just a second, and then you immediately look down at your phone, pretending you are doing something incredibly important. Or you are in the cafeteria and you could easily walk straight to the counter, but instead you take a long detour to the farthest window just to avoid passing by one person. The teacher says, find your own group, and instead of walking up to someone, you just stare at your desk, hoping someone will come to you, or that you will just get randomly assigned at the end. Or your phone vibrates, you pick it up, read the message, and then you put it face down at the table, no reply. If any of that sounds familiar, you are not alone. Honestly, we are all done it. A few everyday moments that most of us barely notice. But behind these small actions lies a bigger question. So why do we sometimes avoid people, even those we hear about? It's a sign of anxiety, a way of protecting ourselves, or simply a response to the pressures of modern life. So in this documentary, for our advanced communication project at UCAM, so we will explore the reasons behind social avoidance and whether it is always harmful as we think. So let's begin. What's the behavior actually called? It's called the social avoidance. So in the simple terms, the tendency to deliberately avoid social situations and the interactions as a way to reduce feelings or discomfort and anxiety. So now, a lot of people make this up. So let me clear a few things. So the first is not introversion, and it is not a personality type. Anyone can experience it. So second, not rudeness. So most of the time, the other person doesn't even notice. So more often it's actually self-protection, a coping mechanism that kicks in when we under pressure. So why does this happens? Richard points to three main factors. So the first is social identity. A fear of judgment makes face-to-face contact feel risky. So the second is called the academic pressure. So academic pressure when you mentally exhausted. Social interaction feels like too much. So the third, digital communication. So digital communication when texting is easier than talking. So we stop practicing that as alertive. So here at the UKM, so this is especially noticeable particularly among international students. So the first is language barriers. So language barriers, cultural differences, and adaptation pressure. So all of these push people towards silence, detours, and leaving messages unread. But here is a real question. Is social avoidance a real problem or a way of coping? So to find out, we went out on campus and asked students directly. So we have a project named social avoidance. So I have a question for you. So as a third year student, so what do you do to avoid people?
I usually stay in my room, wear earphones, avoid eye contact, and pretend to be busy when I don't want to interact with others.
I think it helps measures very now. But in the long run, we will have to do something communication skills.
Here's one question for you. What would make you want to talk to people more often? Do you want to start conversations with others? I think I like to talk to people more if I feel more comfortable and less afraid of being judged and friendly environment helps. Thank you for accepting mine.
Now, let's hear a student's perspective on one common issue that will faced by many international students. Do language barriers make you avoid social events?
Yes, sometimes because I worried about I cannot express myself clearly, especially use English because it's not my mother language. So I avoid the big events and the communication with unfamiliar people.
That's very understandable. Do you think language is the main reason, or are there any other factors?
Language is the main reason, but confidence is also important.
Okay, so it seems like many international students have that feeling. Thank you for your sharing.
My name is Lin Han. I will quickly analyze the process of social avoidance on campus. Today's university campus, social avoidance is no longer an isolated step. It has become a gradually widespread activity. To understand why this is happening, we need to examine it from multiple perspectives, including individual psychology, social and psychological pressure, media influence, and changes in campus structure. First, as an individual, there were one of the most important factors is social environment. Many students experience in camps is under very pressure with strangers or groups. They worry about saying the wrong things, being judged, or being rejected. The heightened sense of activity reflecting evaluation is and avoidance strategies will reduce cycle over time. The avoidance is really fixed and gradually becoming a feature behavioral pattern.
Second, the self-protection mechanism also plays a crucial role. In a highly competitive academic environment, students face not only the academic pressure, but also the uncertainty in social relationships. Some students believe that reducing social interactions can minimize the conflicts and emotional risk. As a result, they choose to keep distance from others. On the surface, this looks like partnership or independence, but in essence, it's a coping strategy for stress. Social media is good. While we progress or peace in face-to-face communication, very personal communication is more powerful and less emotional risky. Messages can be negative, delayed, or even deleted. As a result, students develop a active offline avoidance social method. Over time, this reduces the opportunities to practice real-world communication skills. Fourth, campus pressure. Graduation pressure also contributes stress behavior. In an environment that emphasizes research and competition, interpersonal relationships are often so therefore, some students prioritize academic performance and personal development, viewing the social interactions as a non-essential force. When the efficiency becomes value, social engagement is naturally reduced or well abandoned.
In addition, and overall factor is the lack of social skills. Some students have limited experience in countries during their early development. When they enter the university and face more complex social situation, they feel unsure about how to respond. This state of confidence doesn't mean they don't want to socialize. Rather, it means they don't know how to start. This uncertainty further reinforces the avoidance behavior. Overall, the avoidance is not caused by a single factor. It's a result of the viral influence of psychological conditions, environmental pressures, technological development, and social factors. It reflects a paradox among women young people. They desire connection but fear vulnerability. Therefore, when we incorporate this phenomenon, we should avoid labeling in the simply as universe or universe. Instead, we should recognize as complexity. Social avoidance is not a restriction of society, but rather a conscious way of maintaining distance in it. And this is the whole vision of the community and student. Social avoidance is not about reducing function, but about carefully and emotionally once the relationship is there.
Hi, my name is Monica. I'm making up in the 80105. I will talk about how social avoidance affects the first students. Social avoidance is considered positive behavior. By reality, students have both positive and negative effects. For many students, spending some time alone can help reduce their stress and provide personal space. Their virtual life can be busy and sometimes stressful. Students need to time to focus on the studies and responsibilities. Some students are dealing with assignments, exams, or personal challenges. Being alone for short periods can help them relax and feel better. It can also reduce distraction and improve concentration. In addition, students can use this time to think about their approach and solve problems more effectively. Being alone for a short time may also help them recharge and manage their emotions. So, more ways alone time can actually for both mental well-being and physical performance. However, when social avoidance becomes a habit, problems may start to appear. According to our survey, 50% of respondents said that social avoidance has negatively affected their daily life. This together, social avoidance has become a common issue among university students. Students who avoid interaction and actively collecting group assignments, class discussion, and campus activities. They feel less confident when expressing their ideas or asking questions in class. But all this, they miss opportunity to learn from others and gain new experiences. In addition, social interaction helps students build and communication skills. Students avoid these activities too often, it becomes more difficult for them to develop these important skills. Over time, this can affect both the academic performance and overall university experiences. Our survey found that 42% of students identify social anxiety as the main reason for avoiding social situations. This shows that social avoidance is linked to psychology factors rather than personal preference. Some students are not avoiding social situations when they want to be alone. Instead, they may feel nervous or uncomfortable when interacting with others. They may worry about being judged, make decisions, or saying something wrong. As a result, they choose to avoid social situations. Over time, this can affect their confidence and emotional well-being. In the long term, social situations avoidance may affect communication skills. Knowledge is one of the ways where we learn how to work with others and social interaction. Graduation, communication, and teamwork is essential in most workplaces. Therefore, spending time alone can be healthy and beneficial, but the social avoidance may create challenges in both academic life and future careers. The key is to find a healthy balance between personal space and social connection. My presentation, next my team is going to do some possible solutions to the avoidance. Let me talk about the solution part. Now that we've analyzed why so many international students are doing and choose to really use on campus, the real question is how can we break this cycle? As we mentioned earlier, social avoidance as a temporary coping mechanism, it helps us maintain personal space and reduce immediate anxiety. But in the long run, it limits our personal growth and academic collaboration. To move from avoiding to engaging, we don't have to suddenly transform into extreme extrovert overnight, but instead we can start with small and actionable steps. Let's look at individual micro strategies. We propose 3 practical habits. Number 1, the frequent eye contact. Instead of immediately burying your face in the smartphone when you use classmate, try to look up, hold eye contact for 3 seconds, and just give a little nod or a smile. It effectively lowers the fear of awkwardness. Number 2, lowering the language bar. Many international students avoid talking because they are afraid of making grammatical mistakes. But just remember, communication is about connection, not perfection. A simple "Hey, good morning" is more than enough to start. Number 3, low-stake social experiment. Try to attend just one low-pressure campus event per month or even per week. You don't have to talk to everyone, just taking the same role and sharing the environment is a victory over avoidance. Overcoming social avoidance shouldn't be a lonely battle. We need peer and institutional support. For peer support, we highly encourage local students and international students to use language body pairs. Local students can help bridge the cultural gap and reducing the uncertainty that causes international students to retreat. For institutional support, we suggest that university wings like UNC to organize more low-pressure interactive workshops. Rather than massive social gatherings, small-scale culture sharing circles can provide a safer, more predictable environment for students to experience social anxiety. Ultimately, the art of avoiding people might protect us for a moment, but stepping out of our comfort zone connects us to the world. By changing our micro habits and utilizing campus support, we can turn our campus social spaces from stress zones into growth zones. Next, my classmate will wrap up our findings and bring us to the final conclusion.
As we come to the end of our project, we would like to summarize what we have learned from our research on social avoidance among university students. Through surveys, interviews, and academic research, we discover that social avoidance is much more common than many people realize. It is not simply about disliking people or refusing to socialize. Instead, it is very common connected to deeper factors such as academic pressure, social anxiety, language barrier, cultural differences, and the growing dependence on digital communication. Many students told us that they sometimes avoid conversation, social events, or meeting new people because they feel tired, nervous, or uncomfortable. Others use their phones as a way to avoid interaction or create a sense of safety in unfamiliar situation. These findings show that social avoidance is not an isolated behavior. It is a phenomenon that affects many students in their daily campus life. One of the most important questions raised by our research is social avoidance a problem or is it simply a personal choice? After analyzing our findings, we believe that the answer is not completely black or white. On one hand, Spending time alone can be beneficial. Many students need personal space to relax, recharge, and focusing on their studies. In this sense, choosing solitude is not necessarily unhealthy. However, when social avoidance becomes excessive, it may create problems. Students may feel isolated, lose confidence in communication, miss valuable opportunities to find their friendships, or even struggle with teamwork and academic collaboration. Therefore, social avoidance itself is not always the problem. The real issue is whether it can prevent students from maintaining healthy social connection and participating in campus life.
The purpose of this project is not to criticize students who avoid social interaction. Instead, we wanted to understand the reasons behind these behaviors and how they affect students' daily life. By studying this phenomenon, we hope to increase people's awareness about the challenges faced by many university students, especially international students, who are adapting to a new language, culture, and environment. Besides, we also hope to encourage students to develop a healthy balance between their personal space and the social connection. Being alone is sometimes necessary, but valuable relationships and communication are also important parts of university life. In conclusion, social avoidance is not simply about avoiding people. It reflects the combination of personal, academic, and the social factors that deserves better understanding and discussion. Thank you for watching our documentary.
Okay, thank you for watching our documentary. After watching a video, do you guys have any questions? Please ask.
Hello. Do you think social avoidance become more common after the rise of social media and messaging apps? Why?
Okay, so I think so. I think the social media and the messaging apps provide a convenient alternative to face communication. So people can interact online without dealing with the pressure of the direct social interaction. So over the times, these may reduce opportunities to practice social skills and increase social avoidance.
Hi, I have a question. Why do many students prefer online communication instead of face-to-face interaction?
In my opinion, it's because online communication feels much less stressful. When chatting online, students have more time to think before they reply, and they don't have to worry as much about awkward situation or being judged immediately. It feels safer and more comfortable. But if people relied too much on online communication, they may become less confident in real life social situation. Thank you.
What is the difference between social avoidance and being alone?
Social avoidance and being alone may seem similar, but they are actually different. Being alone is usually a personal choice. People may choose to spend time to relax, focus on their studies, or recharge their energy. Even though they enjoy being alone, they can still communicate with others and maintain healthy relationships. On the other hand, social avoidance often happens when people and social situations because of fear, anxiety, or stress. While spending time alone can be beneficial, excessive social avoidance may lead to loneliness and weaker social skills. Therefore, the key difference between the two things is that being alone is a healthy choice, while social avoidance is often a way of avoiding uncomfortable situations or emotions. Thanks for asking the question.
I want to ask, what if I look at someone for 30 seconds and they just ignore me? Won't that be even more awkward? What should I do? That can definitely happen, but don't take it personally. The goal of this rule isn't to get a perfect reaction every time. It's simply to train your own courage to look up from your phone screen. If they don't smile back, it's completely fine and just look away calmly or focus on something else. Treat it as a low-stake experiment. Every try makes you less afraid for the next time. Thank you.
I have a question. How can we tell the difference between enjoying solitude and unhealthy social advance?
Well, this is a thoughtful question, and I also mentioned this in my conclusion part. I believe the difference depends on the impact it has on a person's daily life. For example, if someone chooses to spend time alone because they enjoy it, but they can still like communicate with others, maintaining healthy relationships, and participate in necessary social activities, then I think it is likely a healthy preference. But if a person avoids social interaction because of fear, anxiety, or he or she feel discomfort, and this behavior starts affecting their relationships, studies, or like emotional well-being, then it may become very unhealthy social avoidance. So being alone is not the problem. The key issue is whether the behavior limits a person's growth and social connections. Thank you for asking.
Does anyone have a question?
Is social avoidance always a negative behavior? Why or why not?
I think not really. Social avoidance isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes students just need some personal space or use it as a way to deal with stress and pressure. The problem is when it becomes a habit and stops them from building relationships or joining activities. So instead of judging them, we should try to understand what they're going through. Thank you for asking.
For students with social anxiety, approaching a stranger from a different culture is super hard. So how do we actually start a language body pair?
You don't have to do it completely alone out of nowhere. The easiest way is to use low pressure environments that are already set up for you. For example, during class group work, choose to pair up with a local student and just talk about the assignment first. Once you are comfortable, you can ask about local food or campus life. You can also join small workshops organized by UKMC Trail where pairing up is already expected. So there's no pressure. Thank you.
I want to ask, after completing this project, have your own view on social avoidance changed?
Well, I think definitely because working on this project, I often thought people avoid social interaction simply just because they were shy or did not want to talk to others. But after conducting the interviews, reviewing research articles, and listening to students' experience, I realized that social avoidance is much more complex than I had imagined. And I interviewed one international student. She said that a language barrier is the most important factor. So many students usually want to connect with others, but factors such as academic stress, social anxiety, and language barrier, or even lack of confidence may prevent them from doing so. So this project helped me to become more understanding and less likely to judge others based on their behaviors. Thank you for asking.
Okay, if no more question, I want to thank you for joining the meeting and watching our documentary. Thank you very much. That's all of our final presentation.